Welcome to Mickey Car Beauty. I'm Mickey, and on my channel I love to talk about luxury skincare and makeup, and today I'm filming on vacation in a tiny home I am staying in. So I am literally doing my setup in the kitchen. These are the stairs that go up to the loft. There's a bathroom right here, a mini bedroom with a twin bed and sink, and I'm actually filming in the space where one cooks. Tiny house, minimal lighting, and I'm using a big softie for today's get ready with me. I already did some skin prep. Use the Augustinus Butter TFC8 Rich Cream, the Sisley Under Eye Cream, and then I prepped my face for makeup, and I grabbed the Milk Hydro Grip Primer for my primer, and I put down the Chanel Hydra Micro Gel. So my face is feeling pretty moisturized and pretty healthy today. I ended up bringing two foundations. These are great to travel with, and I grab always when I'm traveling the Koimeguri Moisture Foundation just because it's so small and it's in a tube and a little goes a long way. I'm also trying to project pan this. I like to do with my matte foundations, if I want a little glow, I just grab whatever serum I have and put 1 or 2 drops of a radiant serum into the formula. I have my Caudalie Vinoperfect, which is a radiant serum. I use shade 143. What one can do with this foundation in a pinch, you do not have to even use a brush. You can use your hands. I generally don't like using my hands, but we'll do half and half today. So I like to put one. We'll try 1 drop because this a little goes a long way as well for. So I'll show you what it looks like with, let's see, one side with my hand and then the other with a brush. Let's use this side. The hand. And I think I might have used too much. So it ends up being like a skin tint when you put the Radiance cream on there. And I think it is kind of marketed as a skin tint already. I'm just shearing it out more so that it's more glowy, because that formula is meant for, I think it was made or created by somebody in the television industry for high def cameras. So it would look more like skin-like and seamless. But you can see, I mean, I just did that with my hand, so it's definitely more like a skin tint. And there are times where I'm traveling and I'm like, I don't have any makeup on and I just want a little something. I'll just use my hands. I prefer not to because I just don't like the feeling, but why don't I go ahead and use a brush on this other side. And this, I'm using a Makeup Forever Cream Cheek. I forgot actually to bring a foundation brush, but we're just gonna use this because it's just as good. It's a synthetic flat brush, great for creams. I actually use this brush, I cleaned it off. I use this brush primarily for cream contour, but it's great in that it gets in the small nooks and crannies. You see that? I'm getting close so you can see one side versus the other. Can you tell the difference? So that side was put on with a hand and this is with a brush. And then I have some left over, so I'm just gonna grab some spot treat with some areas. I have some hyperpigmentation I'm working out here. But that looks pretty good. So I think I found my skin tint for the summer. I'm just gonna keep using that Koimeguri and mixing it with that serum. So it doesn't cover up blemishes, but it can see it even out the skin like a skin tint. I would say it's buildable the way I did it to like a medium light coverage. So you can see a little bit of my rosacea here, but that's not a bad thing. It just kind of evens out the skin. So you can see some texture I have here. My Becca Cosmetics Under Eye Corrector. This is in medium to deep. And I just dab that on lightly, and that's where that gel comes in handy. I just like correctors that are a bit more emollient, and just patting on a super light layer. Can you see the difference? That's with the corrector, that's without. Let me pull back so you can see that peach color just helps out that under eye circle. I'm probably veering away from heavier foundations and matte foundations to things like tints and sharing out some of my foundations. So I have a bunch of heavier foundations, and what I'll probably do is do my hack, which is always grabbing some sort of serum, doing 1 drop and making a cocktail just to like lighten up the heavier foundation. So if you're the person who doesn't like heavier foundations and you're like, oh, do I have to buy a whole new bunch of lighter foundations? You don't have to do that. One quick hack is just to take any light serum or a radiant serum and cocktail it. It's like, I would say like a 2-to-1 ratio, like 2 drops of your foundation to like 1 drop of your serum, depending on how rich that serum is. So you can see it looks pretty healthy, pretty dewy. But this is the Viseart Coy palette. I actually rearranged them to be a little bit more matching of color and monochromatic, and I don't know if they're making this anymore. They said they weren't going to make new ones because the pigments or materials to make this shimmer for Viseart Coy is really hard to source. This is one of my favorite pastel spring summer palettes. I don't own too many, and I was looking at the Natasha Denona Pastels palette and then realizing I didn't need it. I kind of have a love-hate relationship with Natasha Denona. I'm not a really big fan of their newer formula, or her new formula of mattes. I tend to feel like they skip on my lids and don't look so cute. And it's just maybe her style of her makeup artist. She tends to pack on and layer a lot of her pigments, and I just don't like to do that. I don't like to spend that much time creating my look. Often with, I mean, they're beautiful, but often I notice with her looks, she tends to lean that you have to use like 3 to 5 colors, and I just don't want to spend that much time with my makeup. Moreover, I find that the mattes tend to skip on me. That's why I love Viseart so much. So I traveled with on my trip with Viseart Coy, because it's getting to be spring summer soon, with Viseart Neutral Mattes 01. And this is kind of the equivalent of the Natasha Denona Biba palette, which is the neutral one, which everyone loves. I did own that for a while, but again, I found it like a struggle to blend the mattes. And so I ended up, I think, selling it, and I had a comparison like that for a while, and then this, and this is the one I reached for the most. The Viseart shadows, particularly the mattes, are the easiest to work with. They're professional grade, so you can move these pans around. I have Viseart Neutral Mattes 01 and Milou on my top shelf because these are the ones that are basic in my kit that I reach for. Bringing also my Z palette of Viseart. These 6 are Viseart over here, and the rest are Clionadh. Grabbing my Refer 15 brush, and then kind of, I think I'll just kind of go over this shade here and just use it as a base, just to even out any color that I might have. This color here, and I usually travel with the Milou palette, which I love because I think that's a nicer palette if you have a deeper skin tone. But I thought maybe I'd grab this because I'm gonna be doing some spring colors. It's hard to say. I like both of those palettes. So I'm just kind of building up a crease shade here, pretty subtle. Okay, so my power shut off, and as well as the light, so I had to switch places. I'm in natural light by the window. It's a little bit too bright, but we're gonna work with what we have. And so there was definitely a lot of fallout, so I had to clean that up. So what I'm gonna do is just finish the look, the eye look, with some eyeliner here. This is the Viseart Brown. I'm gonna grab my Chanel mascara. Okay, so this is the 3rd time for filming. I'm in a 3rd place between the light shutting off, and then we're again in a tiny home, and we're sharing the space, and they actually have this kind of auxiliary work, live, shed. So I'm basically in the shed now. So, but I also had to start over because that foundation was not laying nicely on my face, and I have to keep trying maybe different combos. I'm beginning to think it might be that Hydro Grip Primer, that it might not play well with other foundations. So what I'm going to do is I basically washed off all the makeup. I had to reapply my skincare, and I actually went really simple on skincare. I didn't put any serum. I just put the Sisley Anti-Aging Day Cream. I'm actually also not feeling the eyeshadow look. I wear a lot of green. I have a lot of green eyeshadows, and I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. It just ends up, it's a little bit too like frosty green yellow for me, which just it's one of those days where nothing goes right with your makeup. I think I'm gonna do blue. So I'm thinking about perhaps this color, and I'm gonna swatch these over again because it helps me figure out what I'm going to do. I'm feeling this color here. I don't think I've actually ever used that one, so we might go into that. And it's actually not blue, it's actually got a purple shift. Well, we could do purple and blue. That might be kind of pretty. Let me see what happens if I grab this Clionadh. And it's funny, in the pan, it looks like it's blue, but it's actually purple. It's a much cooler eye look. I'm gonna grab this one here because it has less fallout, and use that for my inner corner highlight. It's kind of a frosty pink with a shift of purple in it. Okay, so there's quite a bit of fallout, but it's okay because I'm gonna redo my base again. I do like that blue underneath this one here. Okay, that's fun. Surat one, it's like a light pink. See how that looks in a brow bone. Oh, that's pretty. The Surat shadows are really smooth. I appreciate of that line. Would love to have all the Surat single colors one day, just because they are just very seamless. I could be done, or I could add this. And that's from the Clionadh. Used primarily as kind of like a topper. It reminds me of the Berlitz Astral shades from Pat McGrath. And you kind of put that in the middle just for an extra pop. Lots of glitter today because why not? This Clé de Peau foundation, and this is in the color 040. Much better. One layer, like one pump here and one pump there. It's not really a pump, it's a squeeze. And I'm, I think my face is irritated from cleaning off that initial makeup. So what I'm going to do is just take a little bit more and then just layer it on the parts of my cheeks where I have texture, and then kind of dabbing that in. Yeah, such a beautiful foundation. We'll see. I might give this 1 or 2 more chances. It might just be time to let this go too, so we'll see. Or I just might have to figure out how to use it correctly. I'm just going to go ahead in with my Sisley Concealer. Okay, and I use that foundation brush just to blend it in. Okay, so eyes are done, foundation's done, and a little bit of just lip oil because my lips are dry. I just need to hydrate them. And this is the Merit oil in Marrakesh. Use the airbrush flawless airbrush brush by Wangas for my under eye. And then I'm going to try something new. I use this cheek brush by Haruoto. It's usually supposed to be for blush or bronzer, but I'm actually going to use it for powder placement today. Yeah, my face feels so much better. Let's use the Westman Atelier and see what that looks like. Again, find the bone, pull it from there, bone, pull it from there. And then I'm going to go into my Soniji Niji Pro brush, and this part is the bronzer, or no, the contour part, just to get more of a chiseled look. It's definitely my favorite bronzing contour duo. Definitely enjoy it more than the Westman Atelier. Cream products are a little bit tricky I find as you get older. I think I'm gonna venture to say that cream products might be for younger people when they have perfect skin. And then grabbing this bronzer up here. Nice. By far my favorite bronzer. Almost in my entire collection. Matte bronzers are great. Yesterday I took some pictures and tried out the new Suqqu blushes. And this is 03, the coral pink one, and then 02, the mauve pink. And I would say that the coral pink actually has more, seems like iridescent glitter flecks in it. So let me just do a swatch here of the mauve pink. This is 02. And there's definitely a creaminess in it. I think there's some oils in there. 02, 03. Let me see if I can build it up more for you so you can see. So it's definitely buildable. You have a tan skin tone. So, I mean, my favorite go-tos are usually corals, but we're gonna try, because of I did more of a cool look, we're gonna do pink. So I'm grabbing my favorite blush brush, which is the Soft Cheek by Soniji, and just kind of dabbing that in there. Zero 02, which is Haruoto. No blush, blush. I'm gonna go on a second time so you can see. I'm gonna build it up. And there's definitely some sort of sheen in there. It's not glitter, but it's just really beautiful. I can see all the hype around this. And I'm probably putting too much blush, but I'm doing it for the sake of the video so you can see it, how it actually builds if you have a deeper complexion than me. And also filming tends to, depending on the light, sometimes will wash out the look. Okay, so that's Haruoto. I'll get in close so you can see. Yeah, these are beautiful. I am wanting probably to get all of these. What I'm going to do is grab the Phytosurgeon Spectral Shine Divine Daylight Spectral Shine. And it's hard to do a swatch of these. These are balm highlighters, and it's very natural looking. Let me see if I can swatch this. I don't know if you can see that. Love this product. I'm gonna get that Westman Atelier highlighter for the first time, and I imagine that might be similar to this, except this is an indie brand and definitely more cost effective. I think these are like $20 or $30, and they have a wider shade range as opposed to 3 or 4. There's different, I think I'm gonna say there's 8 or 9 of these colors. So and I have Spectral Shine. Beautiful color, reminds me of a latte. You can see the glow in there. So again, it's just like a inner glow. And actually I'm gonna put some under my eyes because I saw a hack that one could put this under the eyes to help brightening as well. Let's see what happens. I don't know if you can see the difference, but I'll probably see it outside. My Sonia G Smooth Buffer, and then swirl in my Chantecaille blurring powder, and just, it's kind of like the last thing I do. Because I don't want to get rid of the blush, just maybe in the front. There we go. This gloss by Fair, which is pretty neutral. Yeah. Definitely my favorite gloss in my entire collection. Okay, so I'm done with the makeup. An hour and a half later. Did not need to take this long, but the makeup, the eye makeup wasn't working for me, and then the base. Thanks for joining me on this Get Ready with me, and I hope you enjoyed it. And if you haven't subscribed, please consider doing so and commenting below. It helps my channel out. And I hope you have a great day. And as always, be very kind to yourself and others, and just be you. Take care. Bye.